Yes, the holidays. They mean family gatherings. We've all been in some of those uncomfortable moments of confrontation, have we not?
Yes, and in order to get through the holidays and win an argument, we have happiness expert, I love that title, and creator of HowHappyIs.com, Sophie Keller. Great to see you.
Lovely to see you again.
I actually realized that some of our viewers may have conundrums that they're handling themselves this holiday.
Absolutely.
So we actually got a question about how to handle the classic argument between family members from one of our viewers. Why don't we listen, and then you can maybe give them some advice.
Excellent, great idea.
From Los Angeles. Every year, my family, my sister, my mom, my aunt, and I, we always argue about where we're going to have the Christmas party. How do we all win this argument?
How do you?
Well, I think what I would do in that circumstance is I would probably toss a coin and decide to see who should go first, right? Whose place you know, they should go to first, and then do it in rotation, really. I mean, each year go to the other person's house, and I think that's the fairest way to do it.
Leave it up to the coin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, leave it up to the coin to decide.
That's good.
You know?
You can't blame the coin.
Yeah.
You can't get mad at the coin. Well, you can. But.
Doesn't go very far.
You also talk about how to win an argument with your partner. Rule number one, you say you got to choose those battles carefully.
Right. I mean, you do have to choose the battles carefully and know which ones to fight and which ones to leave alone. You're basically losing the battle to win the war, right? So you don't want to pick your partner up on absolutely everything. Otherwise, you know, they'll start to fall out of love with you. You know, they'll become very frustrated and they'll stop feeling free around you. So the best thing is you know, decide which is important and leave the rest.
And in that, if I could expand and just see if you concur, in that, stick to the subject. Don't wane.
Yes.
Well,
Bring
you
in a bunch of
did.
other stuff.
Bring in
Right.
and also no name calling. And
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
That's totally really important. And
Yes.
It's almost like Mark is the co-happiness expert. That he is.
You've done this before, haven't you? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Don't name call, stick to the subject. Really, quite honestly, hopefully you're clear with your partner. So all the other things that you're angry about, you've cleared, you know, sort of before this, so you can stick to the subject.
If it's something like 48 hours and you're angry at me and I don't resolve, my fault. After 48 hours, if you don't resolve, it's your problem then.
Right. Well, you know, we're going to get to that, actually.
Okay.
That's really good. That's my point number
Let's go to tip number two, because you say it's really, and I think this makes sense to most of us. Acknowledge that the other person is clearly upset, because if you don't even acknowledge that, that almost adds flame or fuel to the flame, does it?
Well, absolutely. You know, if the other person's upset, they're upset. They've got feelings. You can't deny that they don't have feelings. And you have to look at, is it more important for you to be right or that your relationship works? And you know what? A lot of people feel it's more important that they're right. Right, for their relationship to work in the long term.
Your other tip is you say it's important to say sorry quickly,
which is what.
But you got to mean it though too, right? Because to just say sorry, I'm gonna, you know, no.
Look, I mean, life is too short. I think many people think they're here for way longer than they're going to be. You know, we're not immortal, and you do have to say sorry very, very quickly. If you've done something wrong, own up to it, and then on the other end of it, if someone has said sorry, exactly what you said just there, Mark, you know, forgive them quickly. Otherwise, you're going to be carrying baggage around with them. You're going to be carrying baggage around with yourself. Now, then that affects you. It doesn't affect the other person because you're holding on to grudges. And, you know, that's a big problem. And we've talked about this before in terms of health, etc., to carry around anger and frustration.
I've said this before, but I truly believe it. Keep the sex dirty and the fights clean.
Okay, on that.
Exactly.
For more information on happiness expert Sophie Keller and her tips on how to win an argument, go to KTLA.com. Sophie, always a pleasure. Thanks so much, and happy holidays to you and yours.
Thank you, to you too.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
This portion of the news brought to you by the Auto